So, well, they're all council.
We do.
We're good.
We're
Football
good.
players.
Are we
Just throw
recording?
us in there.
Right.
We have 5.
We are recording.
All right, welcome everybody. It's 4 o'clock. Things are looking good. We'll go ahead and get started here. Before I call the meeting to order, I'd like to do an acknowledgement. We meet today on settled indigenous land of a traditional territory of the Chinookan peoples of the Wasco, Wishram, Warren Spring, and Grand Ronde tribes. Let us honor this land and traditional native stewards, past, present, and future, and strive today to embody a commitment to cultural equity and reconciliation, ecological conservation, and sustainability. I hereby call this meeting to order at 4 p.m. Tia, will you do a roll call?
Yes, Greg, Chair.
Here.
Megan, Vice Chair.
Here.
Gisela,
Here.
Matt,
Here.
and Jim.
Here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Staff has requested to make a change to the agenda. They have requested an addition of agenda item 6D, approval of the Waterfront District closeout grant application. Can I get a motion to accept the addition of agenda item 6D?
So move.
Okay, thank you. Any other, do we have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Gisela. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? Chair votes aye. We've added 6D. On to
Print off or anything for that information? Or is it...
I do have a couple here that I can hand out. I will go over it. I'll read everything.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Greg.
Yes, no, that's fine. Good question. Agenda item 3 is approval of the July 15th minutes. That was set out ahead of this meeting. Hopefully everybody got a chance to review. Are there any changes that any board member would like to make? Not hearing any, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve the minutes from the July meeting.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you. Any further discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Minutes have been approved. We don't see any public here today, so we'll move on past number 4 and right into the monthly financial report. Tia,
All
floor is
right.
yours.
So the first thing I wanted to do is just give a recap of our on-site audit. The auditors were here from the 9th through the 11th. Everything went well during their visit. They hope to have the audit finalized. The initial audit, our financial audit, they can have finalized fairly quickly. However, since we had to have a single audit this year because we reached the 1 million threshold in federal funds, that one will be delayed. They have to wait for the federal government to release any potential changes to CFA requirements, and that comes out October 1st. So our financial audit will be done before then, but the CFA will be able to be finalized after October 1st.
Okay.
But no, we've heard nothing, no major findings that they've disclosed. It went well. Then the next item is the grant tracker. I provided the grant tracker for fiscal year 26. Did anybody have any questions after reviewing that?
I had to blow it up. It was pretty small
It
print.
is tiny. I'll see if I can find a different format for that so it's a little more legible. Any questions at all? All right.
Do you have any concerns with anything that's on there?
I don't. We did learn, nothing of concern, but we did learn when we were completing the Q4 reimbursements that our 50% requirement for like our Columbia Gorge Express, we had reached the allotment, the 50% allotment for the first year. So we moved those into our reserve or STIF funds to utilize them. Nothing to be concerned. We expected to have to use those. We just weren't aware that the STN grant had a 50% match. That's new. Or 50% limit the first year, sorry.
Okay.
But no concerns.
Okay. Matt, you're the treasurer. Did you see anything in there? Let's
I also have a
test your
few red
skills
numbers, I
on,
mean, and you just you addressed the biggest of the three, so I mean. I need to see trends, that's what I need to see.
Right, trend lines.
Well, this is just a brief update. Anyway.
Just
It's the
yeah,
monthly
yeah.
stuff, so, okay. Okay, I don't have any questions. I hadn't seen the one, or maybe I missed it. Rutger Bogart.
So he was one of our drivers. That was his final pay. And with the final pay restrictions of having to pay within limited time, the direct deposit.
So that's actually a payroll thing on last check. I've
Yeah.
been through that, okay. And we weren't able to run that through any kind of payroll system. We had to do it.
So it doesn't, our Gusto platform doesn't meet the requirement, the state requirement. It takes 3 days to process the ACH and we have to pay with
Yeah.
the last day or 24 hours.
That was the only thing I saw that I didn't, this seemed out of place.
He was employee of the month. He bailed right after he got employee of the month.
You did.
Yeah, there you go, okay.
You got the gold pen and he was
Got
out.
that, so you can show that to other people, okay. All right, that's it, that's all you
That's all
have,
I have.
okay, perfect. All right, resolution action items, Tia.
All right, so the first one I have is the appointment of interim board members to fill the vacancies. The purpose is to review the applications and consider appointments for the 2 vacant interim seats on the board of directors. As you know, Tamara and Elazar have left the position, so that left 2 interim positions open. We have received applications from 2 candidates, Jesus Mendoza and Lena Sanchez Zuaba. I probably am not pronouncing that correctly. But their applications were attached. Did anybody have any questions? Did you want to review each application
Yeah, I
together?
reviewed it ahead of the meeting, but did anybody like have a chance to sit down and talk with them and?
So I know that Amy has, and unfortunately she's not here, but she has chatted with Lena. Jesus, I've talked to Jesus. We're pretty familiar with him. He is previously from the Link and he was their operations manager there, so really familiar with transit.
Is he on the library board too or something?
He's on, there's another board that he's on. I don't remember exactly which one it is. But he,
It's like fundraising room, I think.
Okay.
Foundation
board?
Yeah.
he's
He seems
really
eminently
into
qualified,
transit.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it was great working with him. He has a lot of knowledge.
I guess it's up for the rest of the board here if they had any questions reading through those.
I was really impressed, especially with Jesus, he answered all the questions very thoroughly, seems to have a ton of experience.
Yeah.
Just happy that we got a couple of people who are willing to throw their hat in the ring, really.
Yeah, likewise, I can't believe I have never heard of Jesus before. And I am impressed that he's getting his master's in public administration. And I don't know, I think we would be lucky to have him, but he has big shoes to fill with Tamara. So, but yeah, I'm in favor of both candidates.
I agree. They're both great candidates. I think I've met Jesus maybe once. I want to say it was the opening of the Gloria Center in the Dalles. Seems great individual, I would say. Very passionate as well in the work and being involved in community. Yeah. I don't really know Lena, but seems like a great application as well. So looking forward to meeting them.
That's good news. Okay, if there's no objections, you guys are good with that, I'd entertain a motion to, do we have to do it independently or we just say?
You could do them together.
Okay. Entertain a motion to elect them to the board.
I'll make the motion to elect Jesus and Mina to the board.
I guess maybe we don't elect them, but we're proving that they're in
Approving
our position because
Point.
they haven't run through the election yet, if I'm thinking about it correctly. Okay, thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Matt. Any further discussion?
And so they run again in November, is that the deal?
May.
May? Oh, okay,
Both those seats filled in May?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
I
Any opposed? Okay, chair votes aye. Glad they're on the board. Okay, on to 6B, stiff committee member application.
All right, so the statewide transportation improvement fund, the stiff advisory committee, has an opening. Attached to the memo was an application. This application is from Kevin Liberty, who has served previously on the stiff advisory committee. He has been a great asset to the committee and has expressed interest in continuing on the stiff committee. So the request is that the board review his submitted application and vote to appoint Kevin to the stiff advisory committee.
What does he do for the city now? Is that in there?
he's a planner.
Thank you.
Yeah, I worked with when I was on planning commission, he was like our right-hand guy for planning commission. So yeah, he's great to work with. I'm definitely in favor of. I'm glad we attracted him in addition to his like heavy day job.
Awesome. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
Move to appoint Kevin Liberty to the stiff advisory committee.
Thank you, Matt. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Any discussion on that? Further discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor, please say aye.
I
Okay, any opposed? Your vote's aye. All right, we got them on there. Approval of WashDOT grant applications.
Right. So WashDOT recently released funding opportunities for the 2027-2029 Consolidated Grant Program. We have drafted grant applications for these funding opportunities and are requesting that the board review and approve staff to submit the grant applications. This biennium, we are applying a little differently than we did the last for the weekend white salmon service. Instead of doing one application, just requesting the annual weekend white salmon service, we are applying for year-round and then doing a separate application for the seasonal summer weekend white salmon service. That way, we have more potential if they don't have the funding or we don't meet the criteria when the committee is scoring our applications, then we have a potential to at least serve the seasonal summertime. But so the first project for the year-round weekend white salmon, the total cost is $176,883 with the expected match of $17,688. We have been working with the City of White Salmon and City of Bingen, and they have committed to pay the match funding. The seasonal summer service, if that one were to be approved, the total cost for that is $45,921 with the expected match of $4,592. And as well, the City of White Salmon and Bingen have agreed to pay the match for that one too. We're also applying for the Dog Mountain Shuttle. The total cost for that service would be $157,128 with the expected match at $15,713. The match is expected to be covered by Skamania County, the City of Stevenson, and the Forest Service, as it has been previously. The grant applications for all three are due by September 9th. Does anybody have any questions on any of the three applications?
Yeah, I was wondering, great strategy though on separating the weekend service. So this means that, by the way, have we ever gotten funding from WashDOT for this service?
We did. The
Oh, okay.
initial white salmon service was funded. And then when we went last biennium to apply for the annual service, that's when our funding didn't continue.
Got it. Okay. And this means that, so essentially Link will be operating Monday through Friday and we would be running our buses on the weekends.
Matt.
Matt, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. I can see it being very popular. I'm just as a user, I would love to have weekend service over there. And I'll leave this for like the updates at the end, but I'm helping manage the education for the White Salmon and Bingen e-bike library. And I know from the operations perspective on that library that people are already putting their bikes on the buses to come over to Hood River so they can ride the Twin Tunnels Trail. And so I think it's going to be a big deal if we get that grant.
All right.
Okay, side note, to keep those bikes under 75 pounds, they can go on our bus.
That's very helpful. And I think if all the users take the batteries off, then it would significantly decrease the weight of the bikes. So I'm gonna work on that education piece with the library.
Thanks.
So just to be clear, 2 is just a redundancy of 1 in case we don't get 1, and that allows us to, so
Correct.
if we get 1, 2's.
Yes. Annual would be amazing to provide that service to everybody year round would be great. But at minimum, summer is so busy, and that service was popular when we were able to operate it. And we've received a lot of feedback from riders that, you know, they would like to see that come back. So at minimum, we would at least like to provide the weekend seasonal service.
And you, staff is recommending.
Staff is recommending that the board approve staff to submit the grant applications to WashDOT.
Is there any hesitance on getting the funding for 3, the match funding through the county Forest Service, any of that?
No, now that we have, it hasn't been finalized yet on paper, but we have had conversations of the service continuing and having, sorry, I just lost a commitment from them to assist us with that.
Okay, any further questions for staff? Okay, entertain a motion to approve the stiff or to approve the grants.
I'll make the motion to approve the grants, the 3 grants for Washington Department of Transportation.
Thank you very much.
I second.
Yes. All right, Gisela, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, chair votes aye. Good luck submitting those applications. Okay, on the 6D, I believe.
All right, staff are seeking approval to submit a funding proposal to the City of Hood River Urban Renewal Agency for remaining waterfront urban renewal district closeout funds. Staff are still finalizing the request, but the requested funds will serve as local match for the state and federal grants for the planning, design, engineering, and construction of the interregional transit hub on port property near the waterfront. Per Hood River County Transportation District's financial management policy, staff seeks approval to submit the final proposal for the below project. The waterfront district closeout. Jim, do you want me to make you a copy? Do you need?
No,
one?
I'm good.
Okay. The project summary,
Do they don't have a copy?
they don't, I'll send it out.
Can you share that at all, Tim? On the screen with them, this memo?
You should, it's in the board materials.
60.
You got it.
Thank you, Greg.
So the project would be for match funds. The funding would be used as local match for state and federal grants for the planning, design, engineering, and construction of the interregional transit hub. The total cost that we would be requesting is $604,700. The project proposal is due by September 10th.
We're gonna have a busy 2 weeks.
All right. Can you guys see that, Megan?
Yes, we can.
All good.
So the match funds are $600,000, or that's what we're trying to,
That's what
Fall out of
we're
the-
trying to collect, to use as match for the grants, the state and federal grants we have for the interregional transit hub. So instead of using funds from, different grants that we've applied for, we can put those funds towards more projects and utilize this as a
Because
match.
that urban renewal stuff wasn't fully used and they have money remaining. So
Correct.
they're opening it up to additional applications.
Yes.
so it's just a pot of money that's left over that they've siphoned off from property taxes. And now it's a application process where any local agency or district can try to claw that out. Interesting.
So the action required, the board should discuss and vote to approve or not approve staff to submit the project proposal for the waterfront urban renewal district closeout funds. The recommendation, staff recommend that the board approve staff to submit the waterfront urban renewal district closeout proposal. Does anybody have any questions?
What's the total leftover pot?
It is 1.1.
Okay. I'm
Did they
guessing,
approach us or just something we just-
They approached us earlier this week.
Well, it's a project we want to do, right? I mean, we want to
Yeah.
develop a
yes.
site down
Very
there.
excited.
We have other
when I saw
funding
that.
to relieve from something else is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions for staff? Okay, I'd entertain a motion on that.
I move to approve the application to seek funds related to the closeout of the waterfront urban renewal district.
Thank you, Matt.
A second.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All right, chair votes aye, we're good. All right, Jeff, operations manager report.
Okay. All right, ops report for July 2026. Not a whole lot of change in the overall safety score, staying at 99. A tiny bit more moderate speeding, but not enough to cause any concern. Fixed OTP is NA. I'm hoping to have actually some real fixed OTP for the next board meeting. We made some really good progress with the fixed route software for Spare. And we actually officially launched on the 14th of August with them. So that's exciting for me and the drivers at least. The DAR OTP is 95% and vehicle hours driven 1,362, 44,531 vehicle miles, fuel cost 21,000, gas went down a little bit to 48 cents, which is good.
The dial ride on time went down, but is that just because it's busier around town because it's July or?
You know, I was just kind of looking at that and so our arrivals, like showing up to the dial ride appointments were actually 100% on time. So I know this month we had a couple of issues. Let's just call them human errors where we were going out of order in drop offs. So that could affect how the software is perceiving our on-time performance, and also there are a few incidents where we waited too long we have a 5-minute window to wait for riders, and there are a few times where we waited for 10 minutes, and that compounds through the day, and can affect our that performance as well.
Okay.
Okay, any questions on the customer incidents or vehicle incidents?
Maybe the only one just being the wheelchair.
Going backwards.
On backwards, I mean, is it a,
Yeah, worth calling out. Right now it is being handled by insurance companies, and it's still in progress as far as I know. I haven't had any like closure or know what that result is for that, but
do you anticipate any sort of changes in procedure on the back of it? I mean, I don't know how they fit in to the vehicle, but I mean, is there anything that you think would be worth changing on the back of that?
So I guess following that incident, we reinforced what our wheelchair policy is, to make sure our drivers are all aware, which they, we train them when they come here, and that, it's, there's some weird technicalities in the way the FTA has written it, but for, our policy is to make sure that the wheelchair is strapped down and, 4 points, and the riders should not be riding sideways in a vehicle, right? So this person was sideways, and the driver felt like they couldn't turn the chair the correct way because there wasn't enough space in the vehicle. I think that was where maybe there was a gray area in the conversation to make sure that it was clear that if, the drivers, if they run into that situation in the future, that they should be reaching out. If they feel like, they can't safely secure somebody, they should reach out to dispatch, and we can assess if we need to bring out another vehicle instead of just proceeding on, troubleshooting on their own, proceeding on. The gray area with the FTA is that if a wheelchair technically doesn't fit, don't quote me on this verbatim, but the 4 securement points, you can still proceed with a ride, even if like you can only hook up 3 securement points. Sometimes it's related to like if like a mobile one of the automated scooters doesn't have like a good securement point, that you physically just can't hook it up, that you don't necessarily have to refuse the ride, that you can use those 3 points instead of the 4. But not the ideal situation. We try to have 4 and not load people sideways in the vehicle. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to employee of the month. We have Ellen Potter. Ellen is a reliable and dependable employee who consistently arrives on time, follows policies and procedures, and takes his responsibilities seriously. He is consistently early for his shifts. Ellen maintains a positive and professional attitude, is courteous to both coworkers and supervisors, and can be counted on to complete his work without unnecessary oversight. Overall, he's a dependable member of the team who consistently does his job well. Okay, other updates. I've got the new bus update. I think I might have mentioned this in the last meeting we had. Kimberly and Nora, they were actually down on site and inspecting our bus for us. They provided since we last talked, they provided a long list of items that they called out that still needed to be updated on the bus. Nothing stood out as major, other than there were some seat arrangements because of the fuel capacity that we changed of like how the buses were laid out, and they were just making sure that we were going to get our credit back for having less seats and not having overhead luggage. And then everything else was like kind of a bit more minor, like there was a wrong bike rack tray, and they called out some of the wrap not being I don't know how to say it, but just like not a perfect job. So they're just having them redo a couple like minor, let's call it cosmetic for this conversation, I guess. They did give us a new update of arrival, which was the end of September. I am pushing on them to, to me, these items are all, small. And like, whether that's another example would be like putting signs up on the bus and, so I'm working with them on what items we can like maybe ship here, like the bike racks we can do in-house and trying to figure out a way to get them to, um, get us our bus early, not delayed because of the small items. Okay. The other update is the Columbia Gorge Express, the 10:30 and the 1 o'clock. So we do 9 laps. We're doing 9 laps of CGE right now, and we are going to run that. It says through December, but it's really to like mid December, and so we won't have any like route changes. And basically, until we start Gorge to Mountain, we'll have a definitive date when we get closer to that time and we know what our launch date is for Gorge to Mountain. So we're having a more, I think that providing that service until we launch, which is usually we aim for the second to third week of December. So just don't want to give a date that I don't know yet. So
I love the
Cool.
extra runs. It's so wonderful.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what it does to the ridership too. Like boardings per hours, it gives us less boardings per hours, but it does overall. We do have more people riding the bus with more opportunities and times to get around the gorge.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Any questions for operations and Jeff? Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate the update. No executive director report. I don't know why she's not here. Put that in her file. Does the board have any discussion items? Megan, you had one?
Yeah, just a quick one in that because it ties in with transit. And so I am involved with two e-bike libraries. One is in Hood River. It's operated by Bike Buddies, which I'm on the board of. We received a $100,000 grant from Pacific Power to provide essentially 2 weeks of free borrowing of an e-bike. We have about 5 or 6 different e-bikes to select from, as well as trailers and child seats. And I provide like essentially like a bike sensei service to the borrowers to analyze their life, where they plan on biking to, what they need to carry, and if they like the bike at the end of the 2 weeks, they can essentially, if they're low income, they get $2,000 credit towards the purchase, which ends up being free for them. And if they are anybody but low income, they get $500 off. And I've had, I think, 8 borrowers total, and all of them have bought the bike, which is pretty amazing. And then the other e-bike library I'm involved with, oh, and that's operated through Soul Rides, by the way, downtown. They've been like such a great partner. And people have already said they really want to take their bikes on the buses. So that 80-pound limit for the bike racks is very important to know. And then I'm also providing, I've been contracted to provide the education for the Bingen and White Salmon e-bike library, which is called Gorge Rides. That's a $400,000 grant through Washington Department of Transportation. And that community was one of 4 communities statewide selected to do an e-bike library. And already I think it's transformative. There's a group of older folks, I'm guessing I would call them maybe borderline seniors, that have organized a Heaven's Angel social ride group, which I think is so perfect. And a number of them have talked about how do they get involved with advocacy to be able to ride their bikes on the bridge, and or since they can't do that, they are putting their bikes on the Mats bus. Because they really want to be able to ride in Hood River. So it's like really neat how these 2 separate e-bike libraries were essentially applied for and conceived totally in isolation and silos, and they're launching at the exact same time. And there's going to be a Gorge magazine article about it. But I think between transit and giving people e-bikes as car replacement. It's like really nice to further knit our gorge community together.
That's awesome. Appreciate that. Thanks for that update. Any other board items, discussion items? Okay, any upcoming events? Labor Day?
Labor Day,
Okay.
Monday, September 7th, we will be operating weekend level service for the holiday, and then the office is closed.
Any other calendar events we need to be aware of? Okay, we're on to agenda item number 11. This is our fastest meeting ever.
Cruising.
Yeah, gotta make sure she stays away. Wait, don't tell her
I
that.
won't say
She's a
that.
reporter.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'm in trouble. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All
Okay.
right, second.
That'll be first and a second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye.
Bye.
Aye. Chair votes aye. We are adjourned. Thank you. Appreciate everybody's attendance here today and contribution.
Thank you for postponing.
Oh, yes, thank you. Take care.